Hey toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. Today, we're taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Beastman. I pre-ordered this guy from Walmart.com. Shockingly, he came in a very nice card that's unpunched. They've come up with some really great character art for all these figures, and the back of his package explains he can hold his whip, and you can twist him into powerful battle positions. Beastman, you nincompoop! Alright, I've got Beastman out of the package, and the first thing I gotta say is I love this whip accessory. Look at it! I was able to pose it like he's swinging it around. It's not a wire, it's just a string, but it's got this weird, amazing ability. I don't know what it's made out of, but it is fantastic that you can kind of pose it. It has a little bit of a mind of its own. Oh, I love that. Oh, Beastman! Oh, Beastman! Alright, so we got the Masters of the Universe Origins Beastman here out of the package. The first thing I'm going to say, I really am not wild about this big old cheesy grin he's got. The vintage Beastman was savage looking. This guy is a cheese ball with those giant pearly whites. Here's a vintage Beastman standing alongside the new Origins Beastman, and I feel like the new one is kind of comically happy. The old one had his mouth open with some teeth showing. The new one has these bright white teeth, and it just looks like a big old smile. Alright, that aside, I love everything else about this figure. He's got that classic furry body from MOTU, although his thighs are awfully smooth. I would have to look at my vintage Beastman again to see if that was accurate or not. But he's got the furry legs again, the smooth feet. I have a feeling maybe that is pretty accurate. These guys pop apart at a bunch of different places for interchangeability, so you can actually yank his feet off where the boots would go. You can yank his arms off at the shoulders. You can pop his head off. You can pop his waist apart. This feature is fun for mixing and matching, and I think for certain characters, that's going to work really well. For Beastman, I'm not so sure I'm going to need to do that too much, unless I really want him to go shopping and get some furry boots to go over top of his furry feet, something like that. His armor looks really great. It's a pretty nice recreation of the vintage armor. I think these shoulder pieces are so much better than the original. They're made out of one piece, and they're not brittle, so I don't see these breaking like everyone's vintage Beastman arm guards did. I'm telling you, man, try and find a set of those. I think one. I think I finally found one. But I needed a set of those for the longest time. And his whip. It's nice to have the whip again. That's also kind of a tricky accessory. I remember as a kid playing with the whip, looking at the little end there, and I eventually just kind of frayed the whole whip apart and then was disappointed with that. But it's super funny because, the original was like a cone and the string was sort of knotted in there. This one is actually solid there. He can only hold it by the handle, which I never really liked the look of that too much, that he's holding onto the little handle piece. It kind of always made me wonder as a kid. He-Man had a knuckle guard and a handle. Beastman seemed to have a handle, but really he held on to the knuckle guard. It was just sort of an odd thing there. But his accessories look great. He's got awesome articulation with the head ball joint there. He can look up and down and turn around to the sides. He's got rotations and hinges in the shoulders. He's got a swivel at the elbow as well as a bend there. He's got swivels and bends at the wrist. Beastman is the one character that I don't mind that they have kind of gorilla proportions. It bugs me a little bit on He-Man how low his hands go down. His fingers are at his knees. That is very unhuman-like, but it works fine for Beastman. And Beastman's arms always seemed a little long in the old series, mostly because of that open hand. I don't know if he's going to, play piano or tickle you. Tickle, 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 tickle. He's got his blue fuzzy shorts, the swivel at the waist there. His hips move out to the side, forward and backwards. He's got a swivel and bend at the knees there. He's got a swivel at the boot cut. And then again, more articulation at the feet. Standard stuff for MOTU Origins. And at this point, you probably have seen most of these guys. I'm more here to just kind of give you my opinion of them than report all the little nitty-gritty of the figure. just because, you know, that's where we're at this point in this line. But I think he looks really cool. I would love a different head. Unfortunately, Beastman's never had a variant. There's never been a Battle Armor Beastman or something like that, so I really don't see us getting another Beastman with a different head, although probably if they released some goofy variant with a less goofy head, I'd buy it to put it on this body, perhaps. When I look at his hands, you know, the MOTU original line, the vintage line, had a lot of accessories like these bracers that are unpainted, and I kind of in some ways wish they would paint them on these guys, just because I think it would look better, but I understand what they're going for with sort of the retro feel, so I don't really mind it. But I've always kind of liked this sort of spiked knuckle guard thing, or whatever it is on that hand. I really would kind of love to see a Beastman with that painted on it someday. Just cuz. It's sort of a lost detail. Oh, He-Man, I will get you. He-Man, I will destroy you. Oh, where's the nearest mud puddle? Looks like you're all wet, Beastman. Ha 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 ha. Dad joke since '82. Yeah. Beastman is a pretty decent update of the original figure. I really do enjoy the fact that we're trying to have a renaissance of MOTU here, getting it back in retail. I would love to kind of just hand these to some kids who haven't seen the show and see where their imagination takes them. Because they're beautifully designed action figures, and the wrestling figures that kind of coincide with these guys are also a very interesting line. And again, I'd love to see what kids' real takes are on them. I'm sure Mattel has market researched out the wazoo these things with kids, but I would just love to see a little bit of that firsthand. In the comments down below, let me know which Masters of the Universe figure you'd like to see released in Origins the most. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous store review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos.